going to now do a program to convert a decimal number to a decimal number to a binary number, basically an integer. Find the binary equivalent of an integer. And to start off, we'll get let's just delete this other code here, sorry about that. We will get let's delete all this code. We must get a random number. So I'm going to make a rand variable. Let's say a random number from 1 to 4,000. Want to get a random number from 1 to 4,000. There it is. And of course we're going to build a string. But when we want to convert to binary, remember we divide by 2 and find out what the remainder is. So we know we're going to take that integer, divide it by 2, see what the remainder is, and that remainder we're going to join onto a string called sline, and then we'll display sline. Now because we're going to do this inside a loop, we've got to choose a loop that we're going to use. Now we won't use a for loop because we don't know how big that random number is, and we won't use a while loop because, well, we don't have to, but we will use a repeat loop because we know we're going to divide by 2 at least once. So we have to divide by 2 at least once. So you use a repeat loop when you know you're going to divide by, when you know you're going to do something at least once. And I'm going to get a variable to hold my number. I'm going to call it rem, and remember our super awesome function called mod. That'll give us our remainder. Ran mod 2. That'll give us our remainder, and even if it's not, it doesn't matter, because now we are going to say sline equals sline plus rem, remainder. But after we've gone and joined our remainder, we've got to get what is the whole number, because that whole number must be the next number that we are going to use. So ran has to now be a different number. It has to be the whole number after dividing by 2. So ran will be ran div 2. That'll give us how many times 2 can go into that random number. And then you'll see it will do that. Now what we're going to do is, just to see what's going on, we will display sline each time. Sline. Let's display sline each time we've joined that remainder on. It's either going to be 0 or 1. It's going to be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Let's go and run and see if I'm correct. Now of course we're going to have some issues here. Random range can't work unless you use math in your uses section. And let's see what else is going on. Until, do you see what I've done there? I haven't put in my until. Well, we're going to continue until ran equals 0. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see what happens. Okay, now the errors over here, because these other button click events do not have any implementation, so I have to delete them, and now I'll be able to run it. And let's see what happens. So that is all the noughts and ones joined together. Okay, we don't know what the random number is. We can go and display that as well. But this is all the noughts and ones joined together. But remember, when we do that, we normally do it in reverse. So what we have to do then is just reverse that whole string, and we'll get the proper decimal number. because always when we join the noughts and ones, remember in grade 10 when you converted from decimal to binary, you added them up in reverse, you joined them up in reverse. So we're going to just reverse that S-line string. Of course, I also want to get another variable and call it rsafe to keep rran, because notice rran is changing all the time, and we want to know what our original random number actually was. And the reason why is because we want to say in a nice little display that our random number is that. But first let's go and reverse our string S-line. How do we reverse a string? I'll use a for loop. Now we can use a for loop because we know that the processor will know how long that string is. For k equals the length of S-line down to 1, we are going to make a new string. So let's make it S reverse. So S reverse, I'll see I quickly created a variable there. Before I go, I have to go and set S reverse to empty string, and over here it's just one statement. S reverse equals the previous S reverse plus S line join. That plus is a join, S line character k, and then I'm going to get some display going here. Just going to add an empty line there, and then we will say S r into string rsafe, join that to an equal sign, and S reverse is what we want to display. So now we'll be able to see the random number, and we'll be able to see the binary equivalent of it over there, and we have to reverse S line to get that. So, and there it is. Can you see we reversed this line over here? We reversed it to there. Now we're just going to do a little check here to see what happens if over here I join S line in the following way. As you can see, I'm doing something slightly different there. Let's see what happens when we do that, and then we display it. So we're going to click the button, well, that means that I don't have to reverse the line. Okay, I don't have to reverse the line. If I say, well, we'll test it with a proper number. Okay, we'll test it with 304. Let's say 304. 304. Okay. Now 304 has been that. If I didn't do this, let's have a look what 304 actually is. Let's go back to our normal way of doing it, where we just join it to the end of S line like that. It's moving it, you know, joining it to the right of S line instead of to the left, and then reversing it. So the proper binary number for 304 is 100110000. And now if I take away the reverse, and do what we did before, we did, and now we're joining it to the left of S line each time. And there we have the right number. 100110000. Actually, I want to double check myself, quite honestly. By the way, you can do edit undo. What does edit undo over here on the left, on the top? See what I'm doing? I don't want to go and get that. I want to get that code back. There we go. That was our first attempt. And that was taking S line, putting it at the right hand side. Because we did not type in S reverse here. So we didn't have to do our S reverse, didn't have to reverse the line. All you have to do was take this and put it in the front of our joining to S line, and we didn't have to do reverse at all. And all you have to do is put S line over here. Didn't need a reverse string. Of course we need all the other variables, we still need them. And then we get the correct answer for the binary equivalent of 304. Okay, see you on the other side.